What is solids? What is solids? Specification for developing web applications with Java programming language. Okay. If you want to run solids, which container required? Web container. Web container is a part of web server also, application server also. So any one server required. Any one server required. Okay. Either web server or application server required. Compulsory. Okay. How many types of web applications? Two types. What are those? Static web application, dynamic web application. See, yesterday in a diagram on static web page, dynamic web page I given. Now, in a one application only static, dynamic, everything mixed. Then that website is called dynamic website only. Okay. If only static pages are there, that is called static website. Dynamic one page is mixed means that is dynamic website. Like that you can call. Okay. Can we develop static web applications with Java? No? Yes or no? Can we develop static web applications with Java? Yes or no? We can develop. We can develop. Dynamic application? Yes. Okay. Can we develop dynamic web application with HTML? No. Only static. With Java possible both. Okay. Now, for understanding programs, applets versus solids. Note down. Actually, applet is core Java, solid is advanced Java. But long back only we stopped to teach applets. Okay, 4-5 years back only we stopped to teach applets. But here just a comparison, only theory part. Okay, applets versus solids. Applets versus solids. One side applets, one more side solids. Note. Generator is there, don't worry. It is not a cinema hall. It is not a theater, no. Now, applets versus solids. Applets versus solids. One side applet write it, one side solids write it. Applets versus solids. One side applets, one more side solids. Note down. An applet is a Java program. An applet is a Java program that resides in server and runs in browser. An applet is a Java program that resides in server and runs in browser. An applet is a Java program that resides in server and runs in browser. It is just like HTML. Okay. Next, a Solid is a Java program that resides in server and runs in server only. A Solid is a Java program that resides in server and runs in server only. Applet is a Java program that resides in server and runs in browser. A Solid is a Java program that resides in server and runs in server only. See, yesterday CGI Solids you studied. Those are specifications. CGI specification outdated. Now present solid specification going on. But not only solids. JSP is there, JSF is there, Wicked is there, so many are there. Now, first specification solids in Java. This is applet solid. Applet runs in browser. Solid runs in server. Both resides in server only. Both are Java programs only. Difference is used. Observe. Applet runs in browser. It's like HTML. Solid runs in server only. Next. Applets are used to extend the functionality. Applets are used to extend the functionality of browser. Solids are used to extend the functionality of server. Applets are used to extend the functionality of browser. Solids are used to extend the functionality of server. Applets are used to extend the functionality of browser. Solids are used to extend the functionality of server. Next, write it. Applets do not have main method. Because applet runs in browser. Applets do not have main method because applet runs in browser. Same. Solids do not have main method because solid runs in server. So main method is over. Further main method is not required for us. No main method. Further any program, no main method. Applets do not have main method because applet runs in browser. Solids do not have main method because solid runs in server. Okay. Applets do not have main method because applet runs in browser. Solids do not have main method because solid runs in server. See, if the program is running in browser or if the program is running in server, it doesn't require main method because browser doesn't know main method, server doesn't know main method. Who knows? Operating system knows. If the program is running under operating system, then we require main method. Previous all programs we executed under operating system. That's what main method required. Okay. Now present main method is not required. Okay. See, previous all programs up to last program, we executed under OS only. Okay, that is the reason main compulsory. But from here onwards, main is not required. Here, applet runs in browser. Browser doesn't know main. Servlet runs in server. Server doesn't know main. That's what. If you write also, it is not called. If you write also, it will be considered as a normal method, not a special method like. Okay. Say main is going to be called automatically. But here, if you write, it is not called. It will be considered like a normal method. It is not going to be called. That's what you should not write. If you write also, no use. If you write also, no use. Okay. But where execution begins, applet and servlet, because there is no main. I'll give. Applet has a life cycle methods. Applet has a life cycle methods to run in browser. Servlet has a life cycle method to run in server. Applet has a life cycle methods to run in browser. Servlet has a life cycle methods to run in server. Fifth one, life cycle of an applet. Here, fifth one, life cycle of a servlet. Life cycle of an applet. Life cycle of a servlet. Like this, write it. Init start paint stop destroy. Write like this. Init service destroy. Like this only write it. I'll explain. This is life cycle of an applet. That is life cycle of service servlet. Okay. Now this arrow also write like this. This arrow write like this. Arrows also write it. I'll explain why. Is it over? No done. Left side only, applet side. Init method called by called by browser. Init method called by browser whenever applet is loaded. Init method called by browser whenever applet is loaded. Init method called by browser whenever applet is loaded. Left side only. Start method called by browser whenever applet is loaded and activated. Left side only. Paint method called by browser whenever applet is loaded and activated. Stop method called by browser whenever applet is closed and deactivated. Destroy method is called by browser whenever applet is closed. Right is all. Init, start, paint, stop, destroy. Init method called by browser whenever applet is loaded. Start method called by browser whenever applet is loaded and activated. Paint method called by browser whenever applet is loaded and activated. Stop method called by browser whenever applet is closed and deactivated. Destroy method called by browser whenever applet is closed. Is it over? I'll explain. This is left side, applet side. See what I given, see. Init method called by browser whenever applet is loaded. Start method called by browser whenever applet is loaded and activated. Paint method called by browser whenever applet is loaded and activated. Stop method called by webcam browser whenever applet is closed and deactivated. Destroy method called whenever browser whenever applet is closed. Now, seeing these 5 statements, you can give answer. Whenever applet loaded, how many methods called? See, whenever applet loaded, how many methods called? How many? 3 methods called. Whenever applet is deactivated, how many methods called? 1. Whenever applet is activated, how many methods called? 2. Whenever applet is closed, how many methods called? 2. Okay. You see the notes? Okay. I'll explain. What is activation? What is loading? What is these are closing? These all. Suppose here. Is it over? Writing is over? Now. Suppose I'll open browser. I'll open browser. Okay, some applets may be present in real time. I'll open live applets. See, okay. See, assume this is only applet. Okay. Suppose it's an applet. I open browser. I open browser. Okay. When I open browser, applet loaded. Then init method called, start method called, paint method called. If I minimize, it is called deactivation. If I, because n number of websites you can open at a time, n number of websites you can open. One is minimized. See, now again if you maximize, activated. So if you minimize, deactivated. If you maximize, activated. If you click close, close it. Now opening, nothing but loading. Now open. How many methods called? 3. Init, start, paint. If I minimize, how many methods called? 1. That is stop. Again if I maximize, how many methods called? 2. Start, paint. Start, paint. Again if I minimize, 1 method, stop. Again if I maximize, 2. Start, paint. Start and paint. Okay. Again if I minimize, stop. Again if I maximize, start, paint. If I close, stop, destroy. Stop also. Stop and destroy. Okay. Say even here applet loaded, init, start, paint. Without minimizing, I'll open notepad, that is deactivated. If you switch to other application, also deactivated. 10 program, 10 websites also you can open, but one only active state, remaining all deactive state. Okay. Now I switch it to notepad, then applet deactivated, stop called. Again I switch it to browser, start, paint. Again I switch it to other application, deactivated, activated, deactivated, activated, deactivated, activated. If I click close, close it. So I given diagram like this. Just now I given diagram like this. Init, start, paint, init, start, paint. After that, stop. After that, destroy. Now, you observe. Whenever applet is open, what will happen? Init call, start call, paint call, up to here call. Whenever applet is open, okay. Whenever applet is open, init call, start call, paint call. If applet is deactivated, stop. Again activated, start, paint. Deactivated, stop. Activated, start, paint, deactivated, stop, activated, start, paint, closed, stop, destroy. That is the reason this arrow. Understood? Okay. Now that is the reason that arrow I given. Stop to start, I give an arrow. Now here. Now servlet side. Servlet side note on. Init method called by web container init method called by web container whenever first request comes to a servlet. Service method called by web container for every request. Init method called by web container whenever first request comes to a servlet. Service method called by web container for every request. Destroy method called by web container whenever servlet instance removed from web container. Next. Servlet instance is removed from web container whenever web application is undeployed or server shuts down. Servlet instance is removed from web container whenever web application is undeployed or server shuts down. Servlet instance is removed from web container whenever web application is undeployed or server shuts down. I'll explain. Note on. Is it over? Now, here first deploying, undeploying. The words deploying, undeploying. Okay. Is it over? Now, suppose it's on server. You developed one web application. You developed one web application. Okay. This is if you copy in server, it is called deploying. It is copied. This is if you remove from server, that is called undeploying. Application copied into server. Listen with more concentration. It is programming related. It is Methods are there, no? Now main method will not be there. These methods will be there. Otherwise, you cannot understand program. Already told. Up to first program, every point important. Already told. Today class is most important. Already told, no? See, web application. See, after teaching also, I'll give wrong answer. I'll show you. Now I'll teach. In 5 minutes only, last question. You'll give wrong answers. I'll show you. Now, web application. Okay. Web application. After developing, once if you place in server, that is called deploying. If you remove from server, that is called undeploying. Okay. The words deploy, undeploy. It is nothing but uploading, downloading, different terminology you'll call on the internet, like that, deploying, undeploying. If you copy into server, deploying. If you remove from server, undeploying. Okay. Now here you observe. Here lifecycle methods, only 3 methods are there. Init, service, destroy. Once you read init method called by web container whenever first request comes to a servlet. Whenever first request comes, no, then only init method called. Okay. Whenever first request comes, then only init method called. Service method called by web container for every request. Every request service is going to be called. Okay. Destroy method called by web container whenever servlet instance removed from web container. Say whenever object created for servlet that is created, that instance if it is removed from server, then executed. Then servlet instance, when it is going to remove, two situations. Whenever application removed, then instance removed. Whenever server if you shut down, see what we'll do generally, Windows operating system will select like this, will shut down here option. Without shutdowning, you are not going to switch off, no? Like that, Tomcat server, first you have to shut down, then you can switch off. Okay, like that, like a Windows operating system style only. Windows operating system is running now, but without shutdowning that Windows, you are not going to switch off. The next time what will happen, Windows may or may not work properly. That server also you have to shut down. Next time it may or may not work. Okay, like that. Now, whenever servlet in web application undeployed, application removed from server, then destroy called. Whenever you shut down the server, then also called. Now I explain. I'll ask question, give me answer. First request comes to a servlet, how many methods called? First request comes to a servlet, how many methods called? See, you observe, one method selecting, two methods selecting. Now how many people answer one method? How many people answer two methods? See, I said no, one method selected, two methods selected. Now once you read again, here init method called by web container whenever first request comes to a servlet. Service method called by web container for every request. Every request means first request also request only, no? I give notes properly, there is no mistake. Okay, is there any mistake in notes? No, I given notes properly, understanding. Now first request also request only, then how many methods called? Two methods called. When first request comes, two methods called. Okay. When second request comes, how many methods called? One method, that is service. Third request comes, one method, that is service. Fourth request comes, service. Fifth request, sixth request, last request. Again confusion started. Last request also service only, destroy not called. What I given? Destroy is called if you shut down. Destroy is called whenever application undeployed. Last request also service only called. Okay. Now Here, see, after teaching also, if I don't ask any question, nothing, you will not get a subject. That's what every day I'm interacting with you. Okay, every day I'm interacting. In core Java, more interaction required. Otherwise, core Java, without core Java, advanced is nothing. You know very well. Okay, so as compared to advanced Java, core Java only most important for your career, because maximum questions in interview core Java only, not advanced Java. Once if you give answers properly in core Java, they'll continue advanced Java question. If you don't give answer in core Java, they'll stop interview, they'll send back there only. Even if you are perfect in advance, also wasted. First core Java only important, remember. That's what core Java, more interaction I did in core Java classes. See, here just now I given. See, just now I given init. Okay. After this, service. Logical part is very less in advanced Java. Core Java only logical part is more. Core Java only more logical part is there. See. Here I give an arrow like this, no? Like this I give an arrow. Now, first request comes. First request comes. How many methods called? Two methods. Init, service. See, first request came. Init, service. Second request, only service. Third request, service. Fourth request, fifth request, sixth request, last request. Like that. That's the reason arrow that is. Service again and again called. Last request also service only. Whenever web application undeployed, application is removed from server, then destroy. Okay. Whenever application undeployed, destroy. If you shut down your server, then also destroy. If you shut down, what will happen? Applications automatically undeployed. That means you can undeploy or server is going to undeploy. At last, then destroy called. See, suppose you learn JDBC programs. JDBC programs. That code you can write in Servlet also. Because what is JDBC? Not full form, not full form. Definition. Specification for developing database applications. What is database application? If any application that communicates with database. Now, in a Servlet program also, you can write JDBC code. This is also communicate with database. Like that also possible. It is internet application, that is not internet application. Whatever you studied previous classes, not internet application. That is standalone application. But this is internet application. Here also you can write JDBC code. Then this application will communicate with database. At the time, first connection establishment required. Later performing the task, creating table, inserting record, updating record, deleting record, modifying record, these all. At last closing a connection. Now connection establishment, how many times required? One time. That code in which method you ought to write? Init method. That is one time only executed, no? That is inserting, updating, deleting, this type of transactions where you ought to write? Service. Connection close where we ought to write? Destroy. Like that we have to select. Whenever very first request comes, then whatever required, that is right in init. Okay. Performing the task, every request you have to task. At the time, service. Last, while removing, memory closing, at the time, that type of operation, cleanup activities, destroy. Suppose example you observe. This is yesterday. Client and server, this communication. You have seen this one. This is I explained yesterday, no? Now static web page, dynamic web page. You studied yesterday. Now you observe here. This is Servlet program. This is Servlet program. This is HTML program. Here also we can add HTML. Now, this program connected to database. This program connected to database. In these programs, init, service, destroy. All will write. Now, connection establishment between application and database. That code where we are write init method. Fetching data, service. Because every hall ticket number it has to fetch the data. Every hall ticket number it should load the data. So every hall ticket number it is going to load the data. And that is every time required. That is the reason service. Connection establishment code one time. That is init method. Connection closing. When this application removed, then close required. Up to that it has to maintain connection. Okay. But generally in real time, they'll never close. You observe. Suppose Google server started. Are they going to shut down? Never. 24 hours, 365 days. Anytime you open, Google is on only, no? So 24 hours, 365 days, real-time servers are running. If any problem comes, then only they'll shut down. Okay, then only they'll shut down. Very rare situation they'll shut down. Okay, like that. Here, while loading, while initializing, then init. Again and again required service. Like here, every hall ticket number it has to load. That is again and again required. Then service. Connection close, destroy. Like that we have to select. Okay. This is the notes I given about life cycle. Now next, sixth point. Not completed differences. Differences not completed. Sixth point. Note down. Life cycle methods of an applet are the part of java.applet.applet class. Life cycle methods of an applet are the part of life cycle methods of an applet are the part of java.applet.applet class. Here sixth point. Life cycle methods of Solid. Life cycle, 1 minute. Sixth point. Life cycle methods of a solid are the part of here Java x.solid.solid interface. Life cycle methods of a solid are the part of Java x.solid.solid interface. Life cycle methods of an applet are the part of java.applet.applet class. Life cycle methods of an applet are the part of java.applet.applet class. Life cycle methods of a solid are the part of java x.solid.solid interface. See here class, their interface. These methods are in class. Those methods are in interface. What is the interface? Collection of public static final variables and public abstract methods. But this total definition changed in Java 8. We can write concrete methods also. You studied default methods in interface, static methods in interface, okay, private methods in interface, totally changed. You studied Java 8 features, most important features, functional interfaces and 8 functional interface annotation, lambda expressions and predefined functional interfaces, stream API. These are all Java 8 features. Method references, constructor references. Java 8 features are most important features. Okay. Now, life cycle methods of an applet are the part of java.applet.applet class. Lifecycle methods of a solid are the part of java x.solid.solid interface. Here interface, here class. Next, every applet must extend every applet must extend java.applet.applet class to derive lifecycle. Every applet must extend java.applet.applet class to derive lifecycle. Every solid must implements java x.solid.solid interface to derive lifecycle. Every solid must implements java x.solid.solid interface to derive lifecycle. Every solid must implements java x.solid.solid interface to derive lifecycle. Every applet must extends java.applet.applet class to derive lifecycle. So here also inheritance required, there also inheritance required. In every program inheritance required. Every program inheritance required. Every applet must extends java.applet.applet class to derive lifecycle. Here every solid must implements java x.solid.solid interface to derive lifecycle. But solid interface which contains only abstract methods. If you implement interface, then what we have to do? All methods must be overridden. Compulsory auto override. There is no other option. All methods must be overridden. If we don't override, the subclass becomes abstract class. If subclass is abstract class, we cannot create object. Then we cannot call methods. Okay. There is alternative concepts are there. I'll explain. Next. Next. Every applet must be public because it should be accessible to browser to create an object to call lifecycle methods. Here, every solid must be public because it should be accessible to web container to create an object to call lifecycle methods. Every solid must be public because it should be accessible to web container to create an object to call lifecycle methods. Every solid must be public because it should be accessible to Uh, every solid must be public because it should be accessible to browse web container to create an object to call lifecycle method. See, previous program public we didn't write, but here compulsory public because you studied main method. Main method, instance method or class method? Main method, class method. Is it object required to call? No. That's what that is not required. But here init, servlet, init, service, destroy, these all methods, instance methods. Object required to call, but object we are not going to create. Web container creates. For creating object, class should be accessible. If class is not accessible, it won't create object. Okay. So by mistake, if you don't write public, object is not created, lifecycle not called. What do you mean? So you must create, you must write public. Then class is accessible to server. Then it will create object. With that, it will call the method. I am not going to call. We are not going to call. Web container is going to call. So generally what we'll do, like this we'll write class demo here void show. Okay. System dot out dot println. Welcome. Like this we'll write. Like this will call no. No. Here what will happen? Demo class loaded. Open brace executed. Main method called. Open brace executed. Here object created. That object referred by D. With the D show method called. Like this. Welcome printed. After that come back. It will close it. This object we are not going to create. Server is going to create. Web container is going to create. This calling we are not going to create. Web container is going to call. This main method will not be there. Like this will write. Like this will write. For this object, who will create? Web container. Who will call? Web container. We are not going to create object. We are not going to call method. Those methods are automatically called with object. Who will create object? Web container. Then this class must be accessible. That's what it should be public. These all anyhow public because the interface contains by default public. No, public methods are there. That is also your right public. Then this class accessible to web container creates object with that method called. That type it is going to work. Okay. Now here applets versus solets. See, solets do not have main method. There is no main method in solid. If you write also no use. Okay. Because solid runs in server. Server doesn't know main method. Execution purpose, three methods are there. Init, service, destroy. These three methods are available in this interface. This interface must implement. Then that class create public. Then class is accessible to server to create object. With after creating object calls a method. Like that it is going to work. But if you want to write Solid program, first of all, Solid's library required. See JDBC program. Without JDBC library possible? First program also not possible. Okay. Every program library. See every day what we use it? Connect class dot for name, get connection, statement, create statement, prepare call. All methods are library methods only. Without library, welcome program also not possible. Here also Solid's library required. Library we are calling like a API. Already you know. Solid's API. Solid's API. First one, Java x.solid package, Jakarta dot solid package. Second one, Java x.solid.hdp package or Jakarta dot solid.hdp package. Up to Tomcat 9, Java X. Tomcat 10 onwards, Jakarta. Okay, this I'll give later. Up to Tomcat 9, Java X. Tomcat 10 onwards, Jakarta. So if you download Tomcat 10, Jakarta, you're right. If you download Tomcat 9, Java X, you're right. Up to Tomcat 9, Java X. Tomcat 10 onwards, Jakarta. This software we have to download. I'll explain. So Tomcat server we are going to use. Now, first one, Java x.solid package or Jakarta dot solid package. In this, classes, interfaces. First one, generic solid. Here, solid. Here, solid input stream. Write clearly each word first letter capital for classes and interfaces. Second one, solid request. Third one, solid output stream. Solid response. Generic solid, solid input stream, solid output stream, solid exception, solid config, one available exception, solid context, request dispatcher, single thread model. Without library, first program also not possible. Write clearly each word first letter is capital. no space between words. Each word first letter is capital and no space between words. API, application programming interface. JDBC API, Solid's API, JSP API, and Core Java API. Everywhere API comes. Topic wise divided. That's it. Web services API, REST API, like that we can call. These all whatever I'm teaching, that is required. Further, many packages are there, many classes are there. These all enough, more than enough. See, this is one package. One more, Java x.solid.hdp package or jakarta.solid.hdp package. Is it over? Here, HDP solid, HDP solid request cookie, HTTP solid response. Third one, HTTP session. That's it. The above packages are the part of solid-api.jar file in Tomcat server. The above packages are the part of solid-api.jar file in Tomcat server. So these are not available in Java library. It is available in Tomcat software library. Okay, that's what we have to download Tomcat server. We have to set the path, class path. Then only we can access. Tomcat up to Tomcat 9 Java X, Tomcat 10 onwards Jakarta. Okay, that name changed, package name changed. Now I'll ask some questions, give me answer. I'll ask some questions, give me answer. Solid program. In a solid program, can I write main method? We can write but it is not called. Okay. Now, if I write main method in a solid program, is it executed automatically? No. Okay. If you write a main method in a solid program, it is not called. So solids do not have main method. We should not write. If you write also, what will happen is it will be considered normal method. That's what we should not write according to specification. So solids do not have main method because solid runs in server. Server doesn't know main method. Okay. So in a solid program, if you write a main method, it is not considered like this type of main methods. That is normal method, it will appears. Now, but execution purpose, what is there? Execution purpose, life cycle methods. Execution purpose, what is there? Life cycle methods. How many life cycle methods are there? 3. What are those? Init method, service method, destroy method. Okay. So these 3 methods, life cycle methods, it is nothing but equal to main. We should not write main. We should not write main. If you write also, it is not considered like a main. Okay. It is not called automatically. So life cycle methods, 3 methods are there: init, service, destroy. When init method called by web container, first request. When service method called by web container, every request. When destroy method called by web container, whenever application undeployed or whenever server shuts down. Actually, whenever solid instance removed. Whenever solid instance removed. When solid instance removed, whenever application undeployed or whenever server shuts down. In that situation, instance removed. Okay. These methods in which interface? These 3 methods in which interface? Java x.solid.solid. Solid interface. Okay. These methods are in solid interface. Solid interface is in Java x.solid up to Tomcat 9. Tomcat 10 onward, Jakarta.solid. That package. Okay. Whenever first request comes, how many methods called? 2 methods. What are those? Init and service. Second request, service. Third request, last request. When destroy is going to be called? Whenever solid instance is removed. When solid instance is removed? Whenever application is undeployed or server shuts down. In that situation, destroy called. Okay. Init method one time called or many times called? One time. At what time it is called? First request. Destroy method one time. Service method many times. Okay, like that. These all remember, don't forget. If you want to derive life cycle, you must implement that interface. You must implement that interface to derive life cycle. Okay. Now, present for first program, this is required. Okay, solid interface. This interface available in this package. That package available in this jar file. The jar file available in Tomcat server. We have to download Tomcat server. We have to install. We have to set environment variable class path. Then we can access. In Eclipse also, we have to configure. That part we'll see tomorrow. Tomorrow, how to download Tomcat software, how to install, how to set in Eclipse. One first program purpose, I'll explain. Tomorrow, we'll see continuation. Okay.